Yesterday's video, A Girl Who Could Pee on a Tree, sparked a little, some comments and discussion over at the forum, and some interesting stuff going on there. Roxanne commented about some of the anatomical elements that can be revealed in oncology, basically how embryos develop that show how men and women, in terms of to their genitals, are more similar than we might think. Very interesting stuff, bringing in kind of a scientific element. People had a lot of comments about their own experience, but I thought this video was a response to Mind Over Matter, who we call Mom over there. Weighed in with a thank you for doing so, Mom, with a story about his own personal experience when he was in college with creating pee circles in the community there. So we go out and pee in circles on the pavement, and we're like, well, you can go over and take a look, and their ideas about how a woman can create a pee circle. Very interesting story. Head on over. I'll put a link down below to the forum discussion if anyone wants to have a look. So I thought I'd throw in with another little anecdote along those lines about and then we really got this. The cause of this video was when Mom talked about how he had to piss in a bottle on a bus, and how his friend blocked the view while he pissed in a bottle. Now that's interesting, to piss in a bottle in a bus. I like that. But one time I had the same problem, Mom. I was in our van. I think it was the red van. You know, maybe if you've seen my videos talking about the stories of the family's outings. We were on one of those long road trips going somewhere. Colorado River, it may have been. Maybe it was Lake Powell. Maybe it was the desert. I can't remember. Anyway, we had these big we had this big like a kind of a couch thing in the back, and there were these big windows, and there were little sliders in the bottom, little slidey things, right about the same level where the bench was. And then we were in the lead van, and there were like 3 vans behind, Wildman's, Jack Olson's, Jim Bice, and a couple of maybe more families back there. I think we were headed to the river, and I had to pee. I had to pee really bad, but I didn't want to say anything because, saying so would have to mean the whole caravan would pull over, get on the CDB radio, breaker, breaker, Okay, well, would it say breaker, breaker? They said in the movie Smokey and the Bandit. But say, okay, we're all pulling over up here, Kurt's got to pee, and I was shy. I didn't want to say that. So I came up with this clever idea. I'd slide the little slider thing open and, stick my boyhood outside the window there and just do my thing. I was laying down there anyway, so I kind of laid over there and slid that thing open and, got up against the window there and stuck it out, and it's flopping it around in the wind out there. I wish I could say it was dragging on the ground or something, but, I think I was prepubescent. Anyway, so it took me a while to get this thing going, because it's a little hard when you've got that, feel a little awkward about it, but it was fortunate it was facing towards the berm side of the road, so there wasn't any danger of anybody seeing that. But I started doing my thing, and I'm going, I get into a nice flow going there, I think it's all good. And then I look and remember we're out in the desert, and it's it's bright. Whether we were going to the river or the dirt bike, it was still the desert. And bright, sunlit day. Hi, Yoko. And I'm looking down there, and I look back behind, and at Wildman's van back there, I think it was Wildman's van, and all of a sudden I see the windshield wipers turn on. Oh crap. They're getting a rainstorm on a clear, sunless desert day. There you go. So pissing out the window in a speeding red van. There you go. My sister-in-law saw me. She's going, "What is he doing? Talking to the camera in front of the house?" That's what I'm doing. Okay, take y'all later. Have a great day. Thanks for your stories, Mom. Thanks, Roxanne, and everybody else who's waiting with theirs. Bye bye. I'll put the link below if anyone wants to check it out.